Hello my friends and welcome to this playthrough for the Pro Division qualifying round. We're going to play the holes with the right wind. This video is sponsored by Playdemic and Golf Clash, and you will be able to see hole 1 to hole number 9 here on screen while I'm talking you through how I'm actually playing the holes. So we're going to have a tough tournament coming up here. It's like with the winds that you're going to see, it's going to be very tricky, and you need to be very accurate to even give yourself an opportunity to get something extra to drop. So I would say a minus 30 tournament will be very hard in my opinion to see. So I do like that we have been getting some headwind and some tailwind, some side wind, like a different type of wind. So we're going to go to hole number 1 here directly, and this is a par 3. And remember from the tutorial, we played it by bouncing on the left side of the bunker. We're going to go with the same play. We do have the backbone level 8. So let's do it! We're going to play against Jamie here, and like our target score is minus 11. So that is the thing that we do want to have. Better than that, going to be happy. But the importance here in the qualifying round is to get the wind down and get the adjustments down. We're going to go with a navigator. We're going to go with 3 bars of backspin combined with 1 inside spin to the right. Importance here, like when it comes to 7.3, it's like we're going to play it accordingly to the ring guide in that particular matter. So we're going to, as you will see here, we're going to go first. We always adjust for 5 rings to start with. 5 rings. So the clock is ticking down. We hit it perfect, and as you will see, we're going to get a little more with the push to the left. So I do believe in the end we'll need to have just 1 more bar of side spin to the right to get us right there at the pin. So I think, like, when it comes to the notes, I've said that I'm going to add 2 bars of side spin, still going to go with a navigator, going with 5 rings when it comes to 7 miles per hour in wind, to have that as a measurement. Then of course add a little bit of feeling in the end there. You can see here with our opponent having the Grizzly, just 2 bars of backspin, and that is going to be too little. I do believe that you will need to use at least like 3 bars of backspin. Either you will have to play on the left side a little bit further down. I think it's important to use a club that is more suitable for this type of wind. So as you can see, we're having basically crosswind, a little bit of headwind. 6.8 to 7.5 is somewhere we're going to have, especially with a navigator. Sure, you can play with a Titan, you can play with a Kingmaker to reduce the wind a little bit more, but in the end, it's like, it's all about to try to save those balls till we actually play in the weekend round. So we take a navigator here, we putt it in, we take the birdie, and we're happy with that. So I'm going to stream 1 account in each division as well. So this playthrough will work as a notepad for me, myself, and hopefully for you as well. So it can help you now in this tournament when it's going to be very tough to get a really good score. So Jamie's going to ship this one in the hole. And as you will be seeing on the playthroughs, we're going to focus on hole 1 to hole 9. We're not going to play the shootouts, because the shootouts are not, they are secondary, and it's not important in a way to show how to get a good score on the regular holes. So we're going to skip that and just forfeit them. And sure, we will lose 10,000 coins, but in the end, like, instead of adding like 15-20 minutes to the video playing shootouts, that will not help us in that way in the tournament. Then we forfeit it and focus on the next hole. So we're going to play hole number 2, the by far hardest hole on all the divisions through this tournament. And I say that before we have even started, but after I've been seeing in the community, seeing the different forums, seeing people playing Rookie, Pro, Expert, and Masters, It's crazy. It's a crazy hole. We're going to put out the big dog. We're going to go with extra mile big dog as a play, and we're going to go with a Titan ball. So we want to go with distance. So we do value that definitely higher than any other type of ability when it comes to our clubs and ball. So sure, some people said like, okay, you can use a quarterback and stuff like that. I'd rather see that to apply on rookie. Because you will need to have some distance here on this play. We're going to aim before the bunker on the left, so we're going to change to a Titan when it's our turn. So we're not going to go with the play here as our opponent, as it's going to be tough with this type of wind, with that type of narrow fairway, without any type of curl to really get it to stay on the fairway. Most of the time it's going to roll down like this. So we're going to go here. We're going to change that Titan right away. Going to use max topspin. We're going to use max side spin to the left. And we're going to use the end there of the rough, as you can see here, just by the end there. You can see the ball guideline is pushed out to the right with 5.5 in side wind as well. We need to counter for that with some curl. So we're going to adjust it accordingly to the guide. We're going to go with a little bit more than 2 rings. And then we're going to go max curl that we do have on our extra mile, which is not much, but still it's going to help us in that way. We still just want this one to bounce down to the fairway without having any trouble for us to stay on the fairway. So we're getting that bounce, having no problem really to stay on the fairway, which is good, but still we're going to have a long shot for the pin. Alex here, as you can see, he is putting himself in a bunker, which will make it impossible for him to reach into. And it's like, after seeing some kind of some brackets and stuff like that, it seems like I was kind of right in a way that I say that this is going to be a 50-50 when it comes to birdie or par, if we do have other wind and tailwind. So like, I checked a bracket this morning, had like 80% of the people had a par on hole number 2, which is strange. I don't think I've seen that before, but that just speaks for it how hard it is. So we need to play, we need to be adjusting it perfectly. 2 bars of topspin, max side spin on the big dog. Sure, we could be bouncing up on the green with just 1 bar of topspin, but I rather want to counter for the little amount of headwind combined with that we have to overpower the shot with another bar of topspin. So as like for the big dog level 6, 1 ring is 250, so 1 ring is 2.5 miles per hour. So we're going to go with just a little bit more, because we'll have to overpower. We don't know if we hit it great or need to stretch it out, you know. Slight amount of curl to just counter for if we hit it great on the right side. Now we do hit it perfect, get a good bounce, a second good bounce, and we'll put ourselves easily on the green, and we will take the birdie. We will take the birdie all day, every day. So this is not a hole I would expect to go in to say like, okay, Tommy, now it's time to make an eagle. Nah, definitely not. I think that is needed to be common for everyone in that is playing hole number 2, no matter which type of division. Be happy with a birdie. Don't see it as a loss that you're not getting an eagle on this par 4. I know we are so used that on the par 4s to get eagles. Because we can basically reach for the green in 1 and stuff like that. So very, very important to have that in mind. So we're going to putt it in. We're going to take the birdie and go through to hole number 3. So we're at -2 after 2. The importance here is not the score. The importance is that we actually learn how to play the holes with the wind that we're going to have in the tournament. That's why this playthrough is so important for me, myself, for everyone that is watching as well, to really see where we can adjust, where could we make a better adjustment, and where could we maybe use a different type of club. So So again, while watching this, do not hesitate to make a comment in the comment section below with your own thoughts after you have been playing, and especially what did you shoot in the tournament. So hole number 3, and here I'm kind of debating myself if I would be going with a big topper or I would be going with an extra mile, but just having a big topper in level 2 will not give me the distance that I do want. It's like with a big topper level 4, 5, 6, 7, I would kind of consider using that one instead. The reason for it is that we are getting tailwind here, as you will be able to see. Getting tailwind here, kind of a strong tailwind as well for being played in Rookie. You can see with a Berserker we'll be getting 8.4. And maybe with a big topper, with a Berserker, or I would say big topper with a Snow Globe Ball or a Turbo Ball would maybe be reaching over. I would say you will have to have at least like 11 or 12 in Tailwind. That's why a Turbo Ball or a Snow Globe Ball needs to be applied. But when we don't have that, we have the big topper level 2, we're going to play the extra mile, going to line it up just easily and put ourselves as close to the top as possible without risking going into the rough. So tailwind for hole number 3, that is already noted down, of course. We did have side like crosswind like from right to left on hole number 1, and on hole number 2 we did have some slight tailwind, but basically wind left to right. So our opponent's going to do the same, and the reason we are using a Titan here, that is just to counter for that if we will go very short here with our drive, or maybe we cut the rough and we get out to the fairway, yeah, like basically going short, then we do want to have some distance for a second shot without having to work for it that much. Now, my play here is to not risk putting myself into the rough or into the bunker there on top. So I'm basically just going to play myself before the bunker and going with a long iron with minimum distance of the club to adjust for that one instead. I think that will be a more safer play. I understand that you may want to get a little bit closer to the top. Maybe we'll like to go with your Thorn or the Hornet with maximum distance. But in the end, like with the backbone, minimum distance, we do have a good opportunity from that position. So, our opponent here in the bunker, and in the bunker, tough. Sure, the tailwind helps, but as you can see, not being able to reach that far, the second shot would still be very, very tough. Now we need to have in mind that we're playing uphill. So we are going to go with, as you can see, the backbone, max backspin, and also a couple of bars of side spin to the left. So we're going with 2. We want to aim and land the ball, and I'm going to say this one, as you see there, we're aiming basically straight up to the pin, but we're kind of forgetting that the wind is pointing a little bit more to the left, which means that we need to counter with that for the bounce that is coming to the left for us, that we need to like change our adjustment and put our adjustment a little bit more to the right. Otherwise, we will go too much to the left. And that is the thing that happened here. We still get up there. We get in the roll that we do want to. But we are too much to the left with our adjustment. And that is noted down. And that is important to have in mind when we play it in the opening round. But in the end, minimum distance of our club. And we are playing it accordingly to the ring guide. And of course, some may be having a Goliath instead, and that it's the same type of play. But I rather take like minimum distance than I do take max distance with a Thorn, having to use topspin or something like that. There we go, we're putting it in. We take the birdie, and we're going to be happy with the birdie on hole number 3. There we go. Hits that one great. It's going to miss there slightly. A little bit unlucky, to be honest, for our opponent to not get that one in. That is a must save, in my opinion. Like, a birdie is a must on this hole. So, hole number 3 is done. We took the birdie here. We're going to go to hole number 4. And hole number 4, I do believe, is a good chance to make an hole-in-one. But in the end, it still needs to be done. And we need to, at least now in the qualifying round, give ourselves an easy birdie to feel that we actually are there working for the hole-in-one. Then we can just tweak that adjustment there a little bit in the end, and we will be fine. So hole number 4, par 3. So -3 off the 3 at the moment. Now we're going to have 5.4 with a Titan. We're going to change and have a navigator instead. We don't need a Titan here. So important to save those, in my opinion, there. I'm going to go with 1.5 bar of topspin. We're going to go with 1 bar of side spin to the left. We're going to aim up so we are a little bit to the right of the pin. I'm not zooming in that much, as you can see, but like if you really pay close attention, you will be able to see that. We're going to adjust this one for 3 rings. And then we're going to curl it a little bit against the wind. But that was just a little. And we need to do it more. We hit it great on the right side, which is normal. Then the ball gets, with the side wind, pushed out to the right. We still bag a really easy birdie for us. But in the end, we need to tweak that one a little bit better. In the way that I do believe we should change is either that we curl against the wind more. Of course, we need to hit the ball perfect. Or we are using max side spin to the left with our navigator. So it's either that, curl against the wind, or using more side spin of our ball. We were right with 3 rings for the adjustment. With our backbone, which was good in that way. So that we will still stick with. We are happy with the 1.5 bar of topspin as well. We rather want it to come in a little bit hot than coming in a little bit slow, because we don't want us to find ourselves in a way that we fall back down and have a tough way to get. It's like we do not want it to be like this, you know. Sure, this is going to be a putt that our opponent's going to make, but in the end, like a putt uphill, it is longer than it seems, especially when you can't see the hole properly as well. So we putted in for a birdie. We take it! We take it! And going to run through to hole number 5. Our first hole, really, where we're going to work for giving ourselves an opportunity for the eagle. A good opportunity, I would say, for the eagle. Like, still, as you can see, like, the wind that we're getting, it's not easy. It's absolutely not easy. So we're going to keep on focusing on our adjustments, because we need to focus on our adjustment, be perfect when it comes to adjusting for the wind. We also need to hit our ball perfect. I do believe, like, hitting our ball perfect is even more crucial when it comes to this tournament, with all the narrow fairways and like the specific spots that we're going to aim for. There we go. Hole number 5, let's get to it. We're going to go with extra mile. We are not going to go with any specific wood club. It doesn't really matter, as we are not going to play for that. Either we're going to have a short iron for the pin, or a long iron for the pin, or a rough iron for the pin. That is going to be the 3 clubs, basically. So we are going to play this one a little bit more aggressively than we will be seeing our opponent. Our opponent is going to go right side. And we will be able to see that now directly. And I don't blame him for do so, because using a all-in, then you can't reach over the bunker on the left. So then you need to go on the right side to give yourself a way to bounce over. The thing that our opponent is forgetting here is, like, most of the time the ball is pushed out to the right. So you need to counter that with side spin to the left, and with a marlin, use max side spin to the left that you do have. Like, this is going to be a very, very tough shot for our opponent to make this one stay on the fairway. Gets a bounce out to the right, as you can see there. It's very, very easy to do so. Even if he came a lot to the left there, it was very hard for him here. So the thing that I would like you to do is to use, if you're having a Titan ball to spare, use a Titan ball here. And the reason for that one is that I do want us to use max topspin combined with max side spin on our driver or our extra mile level 6. And we are needed to have an extra mile for do this shot as well, otherwise it's going to be tough. But we want to slightly overpower a shot, and we want to go over the bunker, bounce it over to give ourselves a shot for the pin with the thorn. So we are adjusting it for the wind. We're basically going 2.5 rings, slightly overpower, slightly curl to the right, to just counter for that if we drop the ball a lot to the left. Getting it with a topspin, with a side spin to put ourselves there nicely onto the fairway, and we're going to have a great opportunity here for the pin. So we're going to have a thorn for the pin. A thorn that we do love. It's like we do love the thorn in general, and we're going to play it as we are in a medium distance with our club. Hits it perfect there. That's a good shot from our opponent. Really good shot in that way to save himself there. But still in the rough. But it's still a really, really good one to have to max overpower from the rough, and hits it perfect. So we're going to use 3 bars of backspin. We're going to use 1 bar of side spin to the right. We're going to aim on the right side of the pin. We don't have full ball guideline, so it's hard to judge there for the bounce itself, how it's going to roll off the ball guideline ends. But in the end, I like to aim a little bit to the right side there, and then we're going to play this one as for medium distance, which is going to be 2 rings, is going to be 5.2 in wind. So we're going to drag that one just a little bit more. And the importance here is to be really, really close, or of course drop it. We'll be able to see this one here. It bounces, and it gets really, really close. So maybe, like, I'm thinking about, like, okay, we should just with this type of distance, with this type of shot, we're going to go with half a bar of side spin to right instead of 1 bar. Because we are spot on with our wind adjustments. I like the distance the ball gets. We're just slightly much to the right, and we can just remove half a bar of side spin to the right and just go from there. That would be my suggestion in with that particular shot after like having missing that shot. But I do believe like we will see people dropping that shot, because that is one of the few opportunities that we will get. I do believe like you do have the par 3s, and then you have this par 4. Otherwise, there is like not that much to get to drop. Otherwise, if you're not having a bit of luck sinking it from far distance. So our opponent saved himself from the rough, which was absolutely amazing. Well done for our opponent. There we go. Going to forfeit shootout, give our opponent this one. And this is an opponent that I would really like to give a shootout as well, because he really earned it. A little bit off with the driver, but then still nice shot from the rough twice in a row, which is absolutely amazing. Hole number 6, par 5 again. We're going to go with the same type of setup, basically. Not basically, we're going to go with the same type of setup. Extra mile combined with the big dog. And the reason we do go with the big dog is that we are going to play conservative. We're going to have tailwind, as you're going to see, which will give us a way to not be having to overpower a shot for the second shot. So now I'm getting ahead of myself, so we're going to take it from the beginning. So we're going to go with extra mile level 6. It's not we that are going to start. Scooter is going to start here. Hope he has a scooter in his garage. I don't know why that was funny though, but yeah. So he's going to go right. I don't blame him. I definitely not blame him. Because Tailwind, it can, if you're lucky enough, like bounce out to the fairway after the rough and give yourself an easier task to get to the green. But I do believe like players are really accurate when it comes to the wood club. I don't see ourselves to go with a full blast drive down there, risking going into the rough. We're going to play conservative. We're going to go with the extra mile. We're going to go with a Titan. Important again to give us some distance. We're going to go with 4 bars of side spin to the right combined with max top spin. Reason going with the side spin to the right is that we know that we won't be able to reach down. As you will see, we do go with 2 rings, kind a little bit over adjusting it, but still doesn't really matter because we do play downhill. Like the thing that I was about to say is like we are not going to be going that far, you know, so we want it to go as much to the left to give ourselves a shorter way to approach the green. So step 1 is done here with a drive, and that worked perfectly. I'm happy with that shot, absolutely. And here you can see the danger with like trying to use the tailwind and going max full blast to the right is that you many of the times get into the rough. Even with tailwind, you will not be able to reach for the green in 2 whatsoever. And then it's going to be tough to bag that eagle that you desperately need. So our turn here now. We are going to go with max backspin on our big dog here. Have in mind that 1 ring is 2.5 miles per hour when it comes to our big dog level 6. So we're going to line up there. We do stretch it out a little bit to find the landing spot where we want to land our ball, to not be fooled by the ball guideline from this distance. So max backspin combined with that, we're going to go with 3 bars of side spin to the left. We adjust it accordingly, putting a little bit more, like taking half a ring more due to the tailwind, as we're going to get a bounce that is going to be tough for us to control with tailwind. Get it to bounce there, get it up there, roll then, get in there, come on! Let's get some booms! In the comment section, let's get some booms. There we go. Got some flames, which was good. So got an albatross. That is, of course, with the bounce there and stuff like that, we need to add in the luck in it as well, of course. But it's always good to bag an albatross. It's always good to feel after a par 5 that you actually are kind of spot on with the adjustment for that particular hole. And that made me feel good, as I'm not using the clubs that I'm having to try to just go max overpower. We can actually play this hole without having to overpower our shot, not even 1 time, by playing conservative and still have a good way to be able to get that one up to green for a possible albatross. Hole number 7. Also a hole where I do believe that we will have an okay chance. It's like we're not going to have the wind for us to kind of go full blast, and like we don't have the clubs for it either, so we need to play ourselves up safe. Our opponent here is going to go in a way that I kind of not understand, but like max topspin combined with max max side spins. Like this hole, if you're going to play left, I would say you need to have a ball with side spin, you know. We are not going to go with a Titan, it's not necessary. We're going to go with a Quasar because we do want to have side spin. So we go with max side spin, and we're going to go with max side spin combined with 4 bars of top spin. I thought it was the other way around. So max side spin and 4 bars of top spins. Like, we don't want to use too much top spin to risk going to the rough. We're going to go with 3.5 rings for this adjustment, and then we're going to add a little bit of curl to just give that little extra push that we do want to get out there without going into the bunker. Like, still a little bit too close in my opinion. Like, if we hit it great on the right side, and may have been going into the bunker. So I do believe, like, maybe change our setup just a slight one to the left, so we're staying away from the bunker completely, even though if we hit it great on the right side. So our opponent gets there to the fairway, and I would say this is a strange way with the rocks there. It's actually, you can bounce on them, which is something that we may going to do sometime. I don't know, but okay, we're going to play the sniper as it would be in max distance. So we're going to go with 3 bars of side spin. We're going to go with 2.5 bar of backspin, like almost 3 bar of backspin. I'm going to use the ball guide line. As you can see, we are not having the ball guide line rolling towards the pin, so we actually have it before that, because we know that the ball's still going to roll on green. Going like 7 rings, as we will be playing the sniper in max distance, we go and hit it great on the other side. And as you will be able to see, that we're still going too much to the right. So I would say 6.5 rings with that adjustment, without hitting the ball great, of course. Hit it perfect! Then we may be going to be able to drop that one. Oh my god, my cap! My Team Tommy cap. So we're going to take the birdie, be satisfied with that, and then we're going to go and we're going to play hole number 8. So we putted in. As you can see, like, we have like the first shot, important to get ourselves to the fairway, otherwise we can't reach for the green in 2. So we are -9 now off the 7. Like, due to that albatross there, of course, we are on a roll for a little bit better score than from the beginning. If we can continue, make a birdie and an eagle now, hole 8 and hole 9, we're going to manage to make a -12, which is going to be 1+, according to the par score, which is -11. I'm going to go with the Guardian. Unfortunately, we are not having more backspin with the Guardian. But it's going to be enough for the Guardian level 5 or level 4. The thing here to have in mind is that we're going to have Tailwind again for this shot. And Tailwind is the worst. Tailwind is the worst for hole number 8. Because then you really need to be spot on with your adjustment. Otherwise, it's going to go too long. And go into the rough on top. We're going to go with a Kingmaker to reduce the wind as much as possible. And I would consider to actually use wind resistant ball 5. If you do have one to spare, to actually reduce the wind even more. Going to go with 4 bars of side spin to the right to just counter a little bit for the bounce down to the left. And then we're going to have to play this one accordingly here. We're going to go and play it with a little bit more. We're going to go with 4 rings. 4 rings when it comes to this 6 miles per hour. It's a Guardian with minimum distance. Now we want it to just bounce on the green. There we go. And it gets up there. And we're still getting a little bit too hot. And we're coming in and it's getting close. It's getting close. We're coming in hot. But like hitting the pin there, we should be able to make that one drop. I do believe that is the best way. Even though it's a tough way. But at least to get a safe birdie. I don't think going up to the left there. As you will be able to see, I don't think you will be able to see that now, but like the thing that our opponent's going to do bouncing up there on the platform, it's going to be very tough to get that bounce that you do want to. So while like thinking about it, which type of way to play the soul with this type of win, I would go with a guardian if I have one. If I wouldn't be having a guardian with at least that type of backspin that I do have on my club, then I would be going on the platform. Like, I felt it necessarily, because otherwise it's going to be tough. Because, and also like this can happen, but sure, our opponent is going to most likely be shipping this one in the hole from the fringe, but the risk is to go in the bunker or into the rough, then it's going to be very, very tough for us to make a birdie. So then we do have one more hole left. We haven't been having to save ourselves from any type of position really. So we have been playing kind of solid as it is. We're hitting many shots perfect, which is good. The importance is, of course, again for the qualifier, to give ourselves the notes that we need when we go into the opening round. Then we're going to tweak the notes a little bit more, be more detailed. Then we come into the weekend round, and it's going to be the round, of course, where we need to fight with everything to getting the good scores, you know. Hole number 9, let's get to it. We're going to go with the big dog here again. And the reason we're going with the big dog is, like, I do value distance a little bit more than using like a club with a little bit more ball guideline. We don't have like a max out sniper, so we having so much less distance compared to the big dog, which is, I do believe that that distance is very important to play with. So hole number 9, let's get to it. Let's go and change the song here on the phone. So we're going to get tailwind, and then you may be thinking like, oh, now it's going to be easy, but nah. I would rather take a little bit sidewind to the right if I would be to decide. But like, tailwind will help in the way that the second shot is going to be easy for us if we are going to be able to reach over the rough on the right, because we're going to go right. We don't want to go on the left side. Especially here, it's like our opponent is... I can completely understand that you may not want to use special ball and stuff like that, but in the end, if you're going to make an eagle in this hole and not having a really, really tough time to reach over to green for the second shot, then you need to have a ball with distance. We're going to go with a Titan, I believe. Or are we not? No, we're not. We're going to go with a Kingmaker. Ah, of course we are. That side spin. We could have gone with a Katana as well, but we do want to have the side spin combined with the distance of our club. Going to adjust this one for 2.5 rings. Two and a half rings. That is going to work for us in a way that we kind of slightly over adjust the shot, but we do want to use the kick of our drive to get over there. Hit it great on the left side, which is not good. Want to stay away from the rough there to the left. We roll down. Happy with that shot, absolutely. So 9.7, you can see even with 9.7 with the horizon, with actually some good distance, without using a ball that gives some distance, then it's going to be very, very tough. You know, very, very tough. It's into the rough, going to be tough, of course, from that position. Now we're going to go with a big dog. We do have the distance on our club. We do know that 1 mile per hour, sorry, 1 ring is 2.5 2.5 miles per hour. So that is the thing that we're going with. We're going with a decent amount of backspin because otherwise the bounce will push us in coming too hot. And now we're going to adjust it properly. Going to adjust it a little bit more. Like, going to go with, as you can see, 2.5 rings here. So it's going to be around 7 miles per hour that we are adjusting for. But the reason we do so is like to counter for the tailwind that is going to push the ball in a different bounce. So get it over there. We roll, we roll, we roll. We get it close. And we take the eagle here on hole number 9. So makes it roll down there. We're going to put it in for an eagle. We're going to be very satisfied with the -12. But again, the score is not important here in this video. The importance is that I hope I have been able to explain to you guys and gals in a more detailed way how to play the holes here in Pro Division with the wins that we're going to have. So if you do have any questions, please pick up in the comment section below and I will be happy to answer you there. So we're going to check the scorecard now in the end. And we're going to, of course, be able to see, like, we didn't bag an eagle on hole number 3, which we will be having a hard time to do. 1 albatross, which is awesome, and the eagle on hole number 9. And a couple of close ones as well. This video is sponsored by Playdemic and Golf Clash, and I would like here in the end to wish you the best of luck in the round for you in the New York Classic Tournament.